Hey guys, so I know usually I don't come to you looking this rough, but you know, this isn't a beauty channel. Aphrodisia's Beauty Bar. Okay, well anyway, I have another pattern for you. This one is a newer pattern, so this means that you either have bought it recently or you can still go buy this pattern. It is the Simplicity 8177 Mimi G style pattern. It has four different items that you can, five different items that you can make from this pattern. So you can make the top, which is a stretch knit top. It's just a basic t-shirt v-neck. You can either make it with a long sleeve or you can make it with a short sleeve. You can also make a vest. I'm going to call it a duster. It says vest on here, but that's duster length. So you can make a sleeveless version or one with a sleeve, and that is not sized for stretch knits. This is actually sized for stable wovens. So I'm not sure what fabric that she's got on there in this camel color, because to me that looks like a knit. You can use knits with this if you want to, a stable knit. Because that looks really soft and drapey on her. The black one does look a little bit more like a stable woven, but I'm pretty sure you can use a stable knit with it if you want to. And also, you can make these high-waisted pleated pants as well. I bought this pattern for the vest, or for the coat. I bought it for the coat. Like 2 years ago, while at Ikea, went to the fabric section as always, on the way out of the store, and I found this really cute colorful upholstery fabric on clearance. It was like $4 a yard, and I don't know why at this point I did not buy enough yardage to make anything, because I only bought a yard and a half, and I guess I thought that was enough because it's 60-inch wide fabric. But it is not. I don't know why I wouldn't have bought more since it was on closeout. But anyway, I found this upholstery fabric. It is multicolored. It's got some white. It's got taupe, yellow, orange, green, pink, and blue as well. This is really for furniture, but I wanted a spring coat because I don't have a spring coat. I've only got winter coats. So I decided that I wanted to make me a coat that looked like this, but this pattern had not been released as of yet. So when I was thinking of jackets that I wanted to make for the springtime this year, I knew that I wanted to use this fabric, but I hadn't found a pattern to use with it. Now this pattern was released recently as of, it is not telling me here. That's just great. Oh, 2016. So this pattern is 3 years old, because it's 2019. 3 years old. Well, 4 actually, because if it was released in 06, well, it depends on what part of the year. We'll just say it's 3.5 years old. So this is actually really not the pattern that I wanted to do with this fabric. There's another Simplicity pattern, the 1168 pattern. That's the one I really wanted to do with it. I don't even know if that one is still available to purchase at stores. I'm probably going to have to buy that one off eBay. But it doesn't matter, because I'm actually going to use that pattern for another 2 fabrics that I have. And I want to make that outfit. So no worries with that. I will eventually get to make it. But this is what I'm going to be making this time. Now, I am wearing it with the dress that I made for my sister's wedding, but I am not making it for that dress. Again, I've been wanting a spring coat because I don't have a lightweight coat to wear in the springtime. As you can see, this one does not have any closure on the front, no buttons, no snaps, no frog closures or anything like that, and I will not be putting any on here. I want it simply to just keep the chill off of me in the springtime. Especially, it's really for when I go out and do my ministry. But I did want something that was going to be a little bit more lightweight, that wouldn't be as heavy and wouldn't keep the heat in, because again, it's not going to be a closed jacket anyway. It's going to be worn open. And because it's going to be a really, really fun jacket, I'll be able to wear lots of different things underneath of it, especially if I'm wearing a solid color outfit underneath of it. This jacket will be the accessory. Now, again, I did not buy enough of this fabric to make the coat. For 60 inches, it calls for 2 3/4 yards. So I am 1 yard and 1 1/4 yard short. So I'm actually going to be shortening the jacket. It's not going to be duster length like I wanted. Is actually going to be 10 inches shorter, which is the length of the jacket from the Simplicity 1168 pattern. So it'll actually be closer to knee length on me. I did want it to come lower than my dress that I'm going to be wearing, but since I didn't make it for this dress, it doesn't matter. I do have another fabric that I'm going to be substituting because there is a band here in the front of this coat, as well as the facing on the inside and the neckline. I'm going to be using a different fabric for that. Let me show you. Well, you can't see it here on the line art. So as you can see here, there's a front band. That's going to be in a different fabric. I'm not going to be using these flaps here. I don't like non-functional things on coats. There is pockets on here, but they're actually inserted invisibly in the side seam. So this flap is that's just for vanity. It doesn't have any function. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to waste fabric on that. Also, this jacket is unlined, so I am going to have to finagle some of the pattern pieces in order to create a lining. The jacket only has, if you count the flap, the jacket only has 9 pieces to make. Because I'm not using the flap, it's 8 pieces total. But because I am creating a lining, it's going to have more pieces. I could easily do this in literally like 5 to 6 hours. But no, I'll probably get it cut out tonight, but I probably won't finish it tonight. I'm at least going to do the long seams, like the center seams and the sides and shoulders and stuff like that. But it's really not going to be that difficult. Oddly enough, I've already rewritten the pattern, and it seems pretty straightforward. And I was able to omit a whole bunch of stuff because there are some things I'm not going to be doing. Because I'm going to be reducing the length of the jacket by 10 inches, I'm going to be able to eliminate the vent out of it. So I don't have to follow any of these instructions over here. I don't have to add the flap, so I get to get rid of these instructions in here. And because I am inserting sleeves, I don't have to worry about the armhole facing either. So it's pretty straightforward. The coat calls for 22 instructions. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 instructions. So yeah, it's really not that difficult. It's really not. It's more explanatory than anything. But once you've been sewing for a while, there's a whole bunch of stuff you don't have to read. You just abbreviate what the paragraph says. So anyway, here is the pattern. Here is the fabric. And here is my finished geometric Ikea coat. Alright, so this is my finished geometric Ikea coat. I love it. I don't know if you can tell or not, but I absolutely love this coat. I was able to fully line the coat. Did make a little mistake when I was trying to convert what was no lining into a lining, plus the facing that was on the inside of the coat. Usually I don't use a print for the lining on the inside, but because this is my year of destashing, I decided that I was going to use as much fabric that I was not interested in making a garment out of to line outfits. So this happens to be one of those pieces of fabric. In the selvage, it did say that it was from Joann's. It's probably from the Silky Prints section. I don't know what made me buy it. So anyway, it is now the lining on this funky coat. My mom said that when she saw me wearing it, she was like, oh, I hope she's got a really weird lining on the inside. But yeah, she usually doesn't do that. And then I opened the coat. She was so pleased when she saw this going on in here. So she was like, oh, is it reversible? I said, no, my hyperhidrosis will not allow for me to have a reversible coat. So, but anyway, so I did get to have the coat a little bit longer than I originally thought, because I did shorten it to the length of the other pattern that I really wanted to do. But the other thing was, I felt like there wasn't enough meat in the coat with the two prints, so then I went ahead and put the border band at the bottom here. So that was another piece that I added in that was not called for on the pattern. The area that I messed up on with the lining was, the lining is about 1.5 inches too short in the shoulder. So the inside seam for the shoulder is actually somewhere up in here. So it does fit a little bit weird, but it actually helps with bringing in the outside of the coat and the lining together. Because if I had made it at the right length, you would be able to see the lining on the outside of the coat, which is not something that we want. It is kind of has that loose lining at the bottom. The band, I was able to go ahead and catch stitch to the bottom of the coat, but the lining is loose except for on the sides. It's attached at the sides and the neckline. The one thing that I would say about this coat, that if I could go back and change it, besides me messing up the lining a little bit, I would probably make this in a size 18 instead of making it in a size 16, because even when I tried it on without the lining installed on it, it still seemed really tight in the shoulders. Now, if you use a different fabric, it probably wouldn't have felt that way. But this fabric is a pretty, I would say this is a middleweight fabric. It's definitely not lightweight, but it leans more towards the heavyweight side. So it is going to keep some cold off of you, but the afternoon my sister got married, it was extremely windy and it was not helping me whatsoever in that department. I was freezing to the point where my teeth were chattering. So yeah, so while it's lined, it does not have any batting in it to keep the cold out. I thought about putting shoulder pads in here too, but it got down to the nitty-gritty with me making the coat, so I did not install shoulder pads, and honestly I don't feel like it needed them because of the fabric that I chose. Because it's a pretty stiff fabric, it kind of stood up on my shoulders, and you guys know I already have linebacker shoulders as it is, so I didn't really need any shoulder pads. But I would definitely suggest that you go get this pattern, if not for the pants, if not for the shirt, get it for this, for the vest, because it was really easy to make. If you don't try and put a lining in it, you're going to be able to make this coat in no time. The instructions are foolproof. Yeah, I don't have any bad things to say about this pattern whatsoever. I think that for advanced seamstresses, you'll be able to do a lot to this pattern to add to it, to make it your own. For beginners, I think this is a great pattern to do if you want to start to get into making coats, but you don't want to quite make a heavy winter coat yet, but you kind of want to try your hand at it and see where you're at. This is a great pattern to start with. Look at the suggested fabrics and start there. For advanced sewers, do whatever the heck you want to do, okay? Because you already know what's what. But for beginners, I think this is going to be a great pattern. If you just want to get something that's going to be a statement piece to an outfit, or if you also want to make it in a solid color and make it your staple outfit or staple accessory to an outfit. Like if you want to do it in all black, that would be cute with something really funky underneath of it. Or if you're one of those people who like wearing black, you could just do it for that. But I was actually really pleased with the length of that I ended up with. I don't think that this would have been as great if I had made it the full length that I originally wanted. I think this is a perfect length for this coat. And it definitely is for springtime. I probably can wear it in early summer too without getting too overheated in it. But I really like the way that this turned out. And also, this will give you an incentive to go to Ikea and check out their fabrics. Because if you like prints like I do, they will have other stuff there for you. And they do close out and clear out and get new stuff every season when they get their new lines and stuff in. So this would also be a good idea for you to start working with those middleweight fabrics. If you want to get into outerwear, you cannot go wrong with this pattern, okay? Mimi knew what she was doing when she did this one. If you're interested, this dress that I am wearing here was a Simplicity 1018 pattern. It's nothing to call home about. It's a very, very simple princess seamed fit and flare knit dress. I would suggest this pattern to you if you are a beginner at sewing with stretch knits. It is a really easy pattern to make. It's got 7 pieces total. You got 3 pieces in the front, 3 pieces in the back, the 2 sleeves, and you've got a neckline. If you are kind of intimidated about working with stretch fabrics, this is a good pattern to get started with. It does call for quite a bit of yardage on your fabrics, but then it has 5 different variations. So this is in between, I think, D and E, but there's a tunic that's shorter, then there's a kind of like a thigh length dress, a knee length dress. I had some fabric a little bit left over, so I made it a little bit longer because this was one of my B stashes. I don't wear black, and I wanted this velvet out of my stash, so I made this morning before I went to Bible study. It's going to be one of those dresses for when, you know, you're feeling a little bloated and not a lot of it cute, and you just like, I just need to put something on presentable and go. This is going to be one of these dresses, but it probably won't get worn very often because I don't wear black. I don't, but it feels really comfy, and it's just skimming my body enough that I don't have to wear a belt with it, which I love wearing belts, but sometimes you just don't want to wear a belt. Sometimes you just want to put your dress on and go. I was wearing heels earlier, but my feet are swollen, so I am wearing flats now. But it's a really easy dress to make. I would suggest you get this pattern too. It is a few years old, so you'll have to either go back in your stash and find it, or you'll have to get it online. They probably still have it at Joann's, deep in the drawers somewhere. Yeah. Go get this pattern too if you want to try your hand at stretch knits for a dress. But anyway, these are 2 Simplicity patterns that you must have. I'm very pleased with the way that both of them turned out. And I will see you guys for the next sewing project.